Malphite. I think having like the Gwen in the top lane means that even if Yunara does get exploded, you still have a Gwen who can potentially clean up the fight.
Yep.
Is that important insurance?
And it's also Taeyoon's worst nightmare. A bit problematic.
Yep. I think Eclipse Spike is where the Ambassador is really going to feel good in this matchup no matter what.
Oh, Ucal goes for it. He finds Scout. Shockwave hits onto two, but the Orianna should be going down. Willa picks up the first blood before the other mid laner goes down. Now Rich is making his way in, and Lehends uses the door beautifully. And the immune on the public execution is going to spell the end of Kingen. A double for Willa.
And honestly, I think if Nongshim had just traded 1-for-1 there, that would have been fine. Bot lane no flashes after that one.
I imagine so. But I do like the gusto that Andil is playing with here.
Yep.
Look at him, full bodyguard mode. Trying to make sure that Jiwoo stays alive. Another hook going to connect, but the door is working very, very well. Ulti coming on through here from Jiwoo, though. Does have the barrier back up again. There's the flash out from Taeyoon, the dash forward. And Jiwoo's still looking for it. Taeyoon goes down. He warped to the Braum! Oh, no! He was fine. And then decided, nope, it is my time to die. And he did do that. All right. And now some crystalline overgrowth being eaten here. Taeyoon gonna have to back away and even further than he otherwise thought, as Willa is just going to drop from the sky. Teleport in from Scout to make sure that the dive doesn't come on down as Lehends misses the Glacial Fissure. And another hook is going to connect here onto Scout as well. He gets chain CC'd and destroyed as Jiwoo collects another one. Oh, Nongshim, what's happened?
I feel like a broken record. You know, an overstay. You stopped the dive. You disengaged. Job done.
Oh my god, do you know what this is? Oh, never mind. I'm gonna have to hold my thought here as another redive is going to come on through. Another hook's gonna land, of course it does, as it's magnetized when it's Andil. He tanks up the turret, and two swift kills onto that bottom lane again. This is just never a thing that you want to do.
Yeah, and now because of this, everyone dies. And it's just, you need to just take the little advantages. They're being so greedy.
There is a rock on the way. Unstoppable Force, and that is a very dead Gwen. Beautifully played there from Sponge before they can even go to the Scuttle Crab. And therefore, we will not throw the game on the Scuttle. We'll do it under the enemy turret instead.
They figured it out. There's no Scuttle Crabs under the enemy turret.
Completely wide.
Yes, we've hit the Eclipse part of the game for the Ambassador. So,
yeah.
Malphite ult up in 3, 2, 1.
Rich has flash this time. Let's see whether he flashes it. And he doesn't. He's just dead. Sometimes if you just go point blank, the rocket will land.
Yeah, cutting the ribbons open and the presence. Rich is going to be great at that. Unfortunately, they're on opposite sides of the map.
Well, Rich is not as immune as he wanted to be here, but there is a Pantheon coming down and he keeps himself alive. There is the stun, and Kingen solo goes down. Ucal gets in there, pushes Sponge back, and Rich gets his revenge. Help mitigate some of that, but there is still a huge lead between these 80 carries, and fighting 2v2 is not recommended.
Ow.
As, the Arc of Ruin comes on down, and more plates are just evaporating from this turret. Hook gonna connect as Jiwoo gets in range. A lot of damage here, wants to be able to get the kill. Andil's down already, though, as Taeyoon flashes. Jiwoo picks up the kill, and now Taeyoon's trying to deal with these minions. One auto from either team. Oh,
that's cheating.
Willa just walks in. Unfortunately, Jiwoo called his cousin, and so that fight is not fair. It's not playground rules.
Look, Taeyoon's like eyeing up Jiwoo, like, can I do it? Can I take him?
Yeah.
The answer's no, by the way. Jiwoo has barrier. But Willa just walks in like, don't worry, little bro. This ends up super hectic, this bot lane 2v2. But we don't get to see more.
Yeah, another fight to come on through here as the exhaust onto Scout. Let's see whether he can get much done with the Shockwave. It hits 2 as the Unstoppable Force, as soon as it's used to escape, you know everything's gone wrong as DRX move to a 5,000 gold advantage.
I'm a little bit concerned.
Snip, 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 snip. Okay. Maybe Kingen's paper, as Taeyoon is dead. All right. Jiwoo just killed him. Oh dear. We need to get into Chijijik or Soup and just tell everyone to stop watching. There's too much watching at the moment.
I think the main thing that I'm seeing from this game is that the 3-0 Predators for Nongshim are kind of doomed.
Well, yeah. I was thinking about doing some play-by-play, but I think that what we saw speaks for itself.
Much resistance, to be fair, at anywhere, at any point on the map.
Ah, this is the Jiwoo walks at him and he dies. Really glad we got pro view on that one.
Oh, there's Willer again.
Is dead again.
Wow.
Willer is looking for an opportunity here. Winter's Bite does connect. The Sponge doesn't take a lot of damage, but I think he may start to as another unstoppable exit.
DRX has taken a lot away from their loss against D+.
Yeah.
They clearly just went, you know what, guys?
Joker actually spoke about this in the early game. That's definitely good, but unfortunately, that has been mitigated by two sad ults. As now Lehends going to throw down his ultimate as well. Taeyoon gets knocked up, though. It's a fantastic depth charge as Jiwoo makes his way in. And Nongshim, with their rock available, and there it is. The triple knockup does come on through. The two-man shockwave comes down, but there's the Empress Divide. As Rich gets into the backline, Scout's getting cut up, and they just don't have the damage. Jiwoo, he's got a rock in front of him, but he's decided he's just going to hit it 1,000 times, and it eventually will go down. Nongshim just had no damage.
Jiwoo was like, I'm just going to be like water and just hit this rock.
Yes. I'm just going to channel thousands of years of erosion. Stand beside me, going to work out very well there for Lehends to disengage. Some of these health bars aren't exactly looking the best, and with Shelly coming down, that is going to mean this turret does fall down. Nongshim, decent macro play there to be able to get an outer turret. And I think...
It's been struggling.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you think about it as... This means that it's dumb to ban it. It's not actually the case. A lot of the reason why a lot of things are banned is so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Which already has 1 win and 5 losses.
And he also was available in this series and just didn't get picked. Just one of the first times, I think, that Jace has been left up, but not actually chosen. Never mind. Thankfully, the poignance is mitigated somewhat. Can Sponge actually make it into the pit? That's going to be the question here, as there is the flash out from Andil. They take the Baron. Sponge does find a triple knockup. There's a public execution to the backline as Kingen's going ballistic. The rock does go down, but Jiwoo is still alive, and Kingen's wiped out. The wallets, ladies and gentlemen, are full of gold bars. And if you didn't know, they weigh a lot, like a really large amount. He's got 2.5 items compared to 4.
80 carries have a gold quest, by the way. He gets extra gold.
It's like one of those, like he's playing an open world game, he's ignored the quest.
I love when I talk about the levels and they just pop the graphic up.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's killable now as 1 versus 4 with, everything thrown at him. There you go. Kitchen sink, the direct counter to Yanara.
There we go. That'll stall out a little bit, the push from DRX. Without an 80 carry, I don't think they can go too aggressive with this Baron. The thing is, cracking the base already.
Sponge is getting... No, but Scissors is bad against Rock. Rich, you don't understand. You're playing it wrong.
I feel like so many years of my life as a child on the schoolyard has just completely been dismantled.
Yeah, because it's not exactly relevant at this point in time, but it is a thing. That Nongshim are going to have to try and mitigate in 10 seconds time. They're looking for Andil. He's going to try to get in there. Doesn't quite find the hook as Kingen taking a lot of damage. Depth charge doesn't quite work, but now Rich is a Gwen in the front line, and my god, the damage is revolting! Jiwoo's dashing around, doing what he wants, public execution, but not for anyone on DRX. It's unfortunately Nongshim that are going to be executed here, and DRX are going to do it. They'll take down the inhibitor turret here on this bottom side of the map, and that is all she wrote here for game 1.
Just absolute decimation. I know they're ahead, I know they're fed, but they just wiped the floor with Nongshim. And considering how favored the predictions were towards Nongshim,
I know, coming into this, you'd think they'd have to be a complete 5 or B5 in this case, is very, very nice when Silas isn't available. And so I think DRX is going to be feeling pretty happy with how this draft went. Should be able to take it as well with Ucal making his way back to lane.
Yeah,
a lot of priority there.
So many times recently, we just haven't seen Corki having the success in lane. I think this was kind of the point I was saying in draft about, you know, do we see for Nongshim, who were looking to capitalize just before he got it.
Oh no, that was not the time to walk up, Taeyoon! Sometimes the arcane shift comes down and the regret immediately follows as Lehends kind of wishes he hadn't flashed in that mid lane because he is likely dead as well. No aftershock left, and Jiwoo collects another double!
Yeah, I think sometimes when a game's going slowly, players can get a little bit impatient.
We're still doing push-ups!
Oh man. Sion.
Right. Yep, beautifully genius.
What a champion Sion is.
Yep, beautifully, beautifully done.
Okay, dragon fight.
Yeah.
Top laners resetting to TP.
Lehends does get spotted here on this flank angle. Teleport to come forward from Rich, looking to get in there. Zenith Blade goes wide. The Pulverize doesn't. Hits onto 2. There's the knockup from Willer as well as cease and desist into the backline. Finds the Corki. And it is going to be the Cloud Drake taken down. And DRX again just mop them up. Nongshim just finding no joy in this game.
Just doesn't even look close. Decimate them. We see Kingen come in, but too late to really make a difference. Scouts looking from the outside. Oh, that connects.
And the flash does get used, but a little bit late, so Ucal still gets hit by the Q. Still Rich in a little bit of trouble, but he shields himself up. He's Kasante, he's fine. And Nongshim still not able to find too much, but now maybe a dive attempt could be coming in, or Andil trying to save the player Scout. Flashes over the top, and the threaded volley connects onto the Syndra. Andil wanting to get in range of a headbutt Pulverize, but he will not get there. And finally, Nongshim are on the board.
Definitely helping though in AD carry 1v1. Oh, Ucal in trouble.
Cease and desist does come on down there. Seismic shove does pull Ucal back as decent double knockup comes in. And oh my god, the unleashed power, massive damage onto the Talia. But he still managed to take down Ucal beforehand. Sponge now finding himself in a world of hurt though, as the bouncy castle is put up and Lehends is unfortunately not old enough to participate. Just not allowed to join. And it is just Sponge. It's going to be... is Lehends the oldest player? Or is it Scout? As anyway, Taeyoon once again going to get engaged on here by Jiwoo. The barrier does come on down for both of them. Solar Flare to pick up Jiwoo though, and Andil a little bit too late, or without quite as much range as the potential. All out of Herald once again here for Rich. Massive shield as the Kasante just dives into the backline. The Herald does come on through, and it looks like DRX is just going to be able to take this Dragon without too much of a kerfuffle. Yeah, there it goes. Also grab a little bit of value here out of the Rift Herald at the same time in this bottom lane.
Interesting decision just to give up the
Sponge
Dragon.
is also looking for some Krugs. Rich doesn't like that, but he is pushed away from his turret. Scout is down here as Lehends moving over as well. It is Operation Let's Kill Rich, and it is going to work out as he gets a big old shield. Scout trying to find the angle. Oh, one more auto, and there's the threaded volley, but Andil just going to knock him into the sky, and that's going to mean it's a 1-for-1 in the end. Assist gold, I guess, makes it more monetarily worth it there for Nongshim, but it was... Someone in chat thinks it's a Apocalypse Now reference. There's all sorts of things. So a lot of reasons why it would be called Valkyrie, as their Scat of the Week. Kingen not very weak at the moment, looking pretty healthy as the Weaver's Well comes down. This might be able to help guarantee a Drake as Rich gets himself into position, avoids getting shoved back as well. The rest of DRX getting held away though as Taeyoon Arcane shifts out of the fight. Ulti from Kingen, but Rich just disengages. No one really fully committing, but Sponge is still on this Dragon. And now Andil trying to get himself into the backline. Hex
the flank
to get him over there. Let's see whether Rich can find the angle as the headbutt comes in. And oh my goodness, that is not where Scout wanted to be. How did he even get there? I'm not even sure he knows at this point in time, but somehow he's now in the death chamber, and that is Soul Point going over to DRX.
Such a great angle there from Andil to find Scout, and he just gets bounce housed. And you know, we talked about lacking damage in this composition.
Dear. Scout of the Week comes in once again, another headbutt Pulverize. This is game 2, Andil. Someone remind him, because he's playing so well. The outer turret stays alive as Taeyoon in a bit of trouble. That was an auto from Jiwoo. That one's scary. After the Trinity Force, but it looks like no more casualties apart from this turret.
Turret should just go down here. But yeah, and when we talked about lacking damage, if you lose one of your carries, you're especially in the bin.
This LCK Cup.
Yeah.
I think it's so far been the greatest that we've seen him consistency-wise. Is all right, Weaver's Wall does come towards the top side. Seismic Shove does go a little bit wide, but I think they've still got enough to take down the Syndra. Andil and Willa not going to be able to offer enough damage back. And so punish Ucal in side lanes.
Rich has no TP, so he's going to be a little slow. But Taeyoon's not even hitting the Baron yet.
Well, Lehends is also looking for a flank angle as Andil does see that this ward is here. Rich is now moving over. They spot Lehends as Jiwoo looks to get himself to safety. The Seismic Shove done nothing, and Willa finds everyone with the flag and drag as Rich looking to get into that backline onto Taeyoon. The Arcane Shift is good, but the flash is there. Rich doesn't hit the Q though. Taeyoon survives for a long time, but Scout's dead. The damage is gone, and Nongshim just invited DRX to the Baron pit and basically fed it to them.
That was such a crazy fight, and honestly, Jiwoo just kind of went melee mode on the Corki.
We took down the Syndra. They're lacking damage. You know, one of the damage-dealing members is missing. Well, Nongshim unfortunately didn't draft any damage. in their composition, so it was already missing. I still remember today, because it did happen in the last game. Even if it didn't really play much of a part because the game was kind of already over.
Because we already had... Oh.
And it's going to get knocked up as Willa looking to cause a ruckus. Andil finds himself in an awkward position here as Ucal ghosting around the fight. There's the Cataclysm right on top of Scout. They're looking to take him down as Rich gets into the backline and just disrupts everyone. That's 2 already on the floor. Taeyoon thinks he's in safety, but this is Kasante, and Rich is going to chase him down. Taeyoon and Kingen, the only ones still standing here is... Okay, Andil's going to get flashed on. He does go down, but there's the flash forward from Rich. He's underneath the turret, and he looks like he doesn't care. Maybe he should care a little, as DRX might be breaking open the base, or they might just be leaving because they're looking a little worse for wear.
I just want to know, Rich has joined the Bandle Pipers.
Oh my, another bad.
That's what I'm saying, he's picked up the item. So
I know.
So he has it, right?
Yeah.
He's...
Oh, right. So he's actually started playing.
He's performing.
Yeah,
yes.
He's performing
That's
now.
the point I'm making.
Yeah, good.
And how tanky he is.
And he's got so much money as well. Level 15. It's actually even on level, so the levels aren't really much of a big deal.
He just keeps valking forward.
He does. And he does it with impunity as there's the all-out on top of Taeyoon as Rich is looking for the angle, but there are a lot of bad guys around him. He doesn't have much to get this one done. There's the Weaver's Wall. Rich survived for way too long as Willa. I mean, Taeyoon is still firing out damage, but Sponge is just dead. And Jiwoo, he has a Valkyrie and he's not afraid to use it. Taeyoon, well, he maybe, okay, could have used it a bit better than that, but that's fine. That is 2 dead for Nongshim, 1 for DRX, and Hextech Soul was already there. Like, this is already a really rough time. Wait, hang on.
I think Scout's in a little bit of trouble.
I think Scout may have just realized that the trouble has arrived. Scout of the Week comes in, Pulverize, and he's dead.
How many deaths is Scout on in this series?
6. They're not going to have a great time.
Who walked 350 kilometers. Please tell me that's a DRX fan.
Oh,
that's
God.
Oh, my God.
Well, maybe they're setting up for the most incredible reverse sweep that we have ever, or at least a reverse sweep that we have seen at all time.
Yeah, I hope that fan doesn't start. It's like, I got 350 kilometers to walk back. I'm going to start walking back now. Yeah. It's like, no, you need to win around, please.
That would be, surely they're not going to leave early after, you know, putting in all that effort.
I mean, what difference does it make? It's a rounding error at that point.
That's a very good point. Wants to go next. Maybe he's going to camp here for 2.5 minutes.
You can just stay in that brush, honestly, Sponge. I think it's okay. No, he wants to go.
All right, well, here's the flank. Solar Flare doesn't do too much. The Weaver's Wall goes down there. They're looking for Jiwoo. Let's see whether they can take it. The Pulverize is great peel, though. And Scout is already running so incredibly far. Lehends is going to get taken down. Jiwoo is still okay. Valkyrieing for fun in the middle of the lane. Taeyoon's dead, so much of the damage is now missing. And there's that bouncy castle we were talking about. That is going to spell the end of Kingen. Scout had actually gone a really large distance away, but it wasn't far enough to get away from Willa.
Jiwoo's just too tanky. He just kind of stands there and absorbs it all and then says, you know what?
And what? Yeah. No, I'm Valken along. It was sort of just driving through. It wasn't going very far, doing very much, but he was pressing W while he was getting there. DRX are going to look to do it again, move themselves to match point in this series against Nongshim. I didn't even think this was going to be the matchup yesterday, and now DRX are finding angles 2-0.
But for the side of DRX, I don't think DRX has a huge emphasis on needing to dive in. Also, Renata into Karma, you're going to get poked out. You know, you're not picking a range pick that's going to really opposition. It's something you have to factor in for the whole game.
Oh, speaking of things that are happening, it's just trading. These two teams just constantly hit each other with stuff. Flash forward, and there's the death ray. Solo kill from Scout, he's back!
On a Vic, that's kind of what I expected, but he tracks him, gets the solo kill. Crazy to see in that situation.
That was amazingly well played. Boomerang Blade is going to go wide as now Nongshim look to try and turn it here towards his bottom side. Will is making his way in, but there's the tether. Taeyoon in a bit of trouble. Sponge comes down. Audacious charge to come forward as the last auto. Bailout is going to be there. Is it going to proc? The answer's no.
That was close.
The burn is really misleading because it almost looks like they have Ignite. There is no Ignite there. The flash! Oh! And Andil picks it up with the Mantra Q. Oh my goodness. I thought like he's playing Karma now, so he's not going to have... That's why things are very, very even. And there is still a bit of a CS lead for Taeyoon as well. He didn't die, as Lehends is now moving back down once more. Taeyoon moves in, good handshake there, as they look to try and take on Andil, who's running away as far as he can. Doesn't have the flash though, remember, as they look to turn now onto Jiwoo. There is just full vision control here for DRX as Andil moves in. Maybe a little bit too far, as there's the bailout, and it doesn't work. Now Lehends is likely to be dead. The handshake comes on through, but Jiwoo's like, I'm glad you're being polite. However, I still want to kill you, as there's the Inspire Shield. And the Q, is it going to connect? Oh, the Comet was almost enough. And Force of Will doesn't quite get there, and Sponge is going to be able to keep his support alive. But it's still a disaster, and now Rich is looking to try and kill Kingen, but it barely works. Oh my gosh. So many very close exchanges.
And Andil doesn't overstep, doesn't chase for the kill. Respects the fact that Sponge, I don't even think he saw him. I'm not sure.
They've had some of... They had their Wheaties, you know? They got some of Michael's secret stuff. I have no idea what it is. Choose your reference, but it's been working, as now Sponge goes in, only level 5 though, no Cyclone, so the monkey is not as scary. This guy though is. As Scout walks down, there is an Aurora moving over. There's the Cyclone picked up, as Sponge looks for another one. There it is. Lehends gets the handshake as Willer is going to get taken out, and Taeyoon is now on the board. Ucal looks to bounce back.
On connect with the jungle. And Willer even getting some poke on it.
They
Zins out, not something you typically expect to see.
Yeah, the win becomes lightning poke. You love to see it. That's all right, Jiwoo's cleared out that wave. Nongshim are going to look to get in here. Hostile takeover does nothing because there's a McHale's already built up. Willer gets out, is now Chains of Corruption. They go wide. Jiwoo trying to kite this one out, and there's the bailout, but the flash was too good. Out of Jiwoo, the bailout does nothing, and now Scout's in trouble. Ucal's cleaning up. And yeah, there's that gravity well we were talking about. Wish he still had the McHale's because he could run on it, but it doesn't matter. Nongshim are lying on the floor, and that should be the first dragon for DRX, and a denial of the double to start this one for Nongshim.
That was actually such a clean fight from DRX. There was just some small micro plays that were actually so slick. I feel like Andil and Jiwoo in particular with some really nice ones, and now Scout in big trouble.
Yeah, he is going to get snared once again. There's that gravity well. But there's the spell shield, and it's a Cloud Soul. Love to see that, as Boomerang Blade comes on in. Jiwoo just wants nothing to do with this, and he's happy to give the kill over to Willer, and they will tidy it up. Oh dear, okay, so this is the first month. Like, each player can have a month. We'll make a calendar, and that way we can include... I love just doubling down on the years.
All right, let's just have
it can be loads of different people's years. There's a Crescent Guard in the back line. Scout taking a lot of damage, and he's just dead before he can really do anything at all. Between Worlds, and Taeyoon is so far up. It's a flanking Sivir, but somehow it's working. Down goes the Varus. The rest of Nongshim are looking to exit, and the Crocodile, yeah, just went the way of all the other dinosaurs, I think.
Once again, playing so well, they instantly take out Scout, unable to do anything with a mobile Victor, and the cleanup is just so swift. More gold in the pockets of DRX. Herald picked up as well. Well, I say that. Looks like there might be a sneaky monkey.
Sneaky monkey comes in. Willer in a little bit of trouble here, and that is just a dead Zins out, and should be a free Rift Herald, but they are pinging. Sponge is going to have to get this one done quickly. Picks up the eye, and now Jiwoo is in melee range of a Wukong. Sponge is dead.
Okay, well, Herald secured. Big down. I think Sponge, that was the correct individual play from him.
The Sivir feels bad. And actually, it was Rich that got the kill, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, 1-0-1 here on the Nah. As we're fighting again, Lehends in a little bit of trouble as Gravity Well goes down. Another Chains of Corruption does go wide. It has always been one of the more difficult to hit skill shots for everyone, as between worlds goes Ucal, looking for some angles here, as everyone taking so much, but Nongshim will at least be able to limp away to safety. Jiwoo is pushed very far up, but look at this.
They did
fire, movement speed.
They slowed down the Chains of Corruption a while ago as well, so it does feel very late.
Yeah, it's even more difficult to hit now.
Yeah.
Talk to Yellow Pete. Like, release Varus was so hard to hit that off.
When you're playing into a Sivir and then the Calm has already got McHale's, it's just like, why even bother?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Game's not looking good. It's 18 minutes and there's a 7.7k gold lead. So DRX in full control, and it's kind of hitting desperation point for Nongshim in this game, in this series, and in their chances for making playoffs. They're looking for Rich now though, and he
did flash. Now we've got Willer moving in. Look at that angle. Fantastic use of the ulti. Hostile takeover, but there is the ult out of Rich as well. Just nods them back. Doesn't have much left in the tank. There's a teleport also there, so Rich is still very dead. But he made them work for it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Nongshim go for picks when people isolate. This is what you have to do, but it's a lot committed for just one kill. Andil is on vision though.
They are canceling backs.
This is 2
now
kills.
Andil is dead. Oh, gets himself a big old shield. Never mind, he's alive. And now Kingen's been baited, knocked up, destroyed. That's Ucal grabbing a kill for himself. Andil, everything he does is on purpose. Everything he does is with a reason.
Dragon picked up for Willa. If this team gets Cloud Soul, goes without saying, it's just...
Oh god. Okay, there's another handshake. But Andil is just going to slow him down. Chains of Corruption goes wide. Andil, of course, is able to walk past it. It just feels really bad because DRX walks so fast. You can't hit a skill shot as, speaking of which, Rich also going to miss Lehends. He's hopping over that wall, guys. Fadeaway house, not enough. So it doesn't actually get over there. Still, DRX very, very happy with this one.
Already so fast.
Yeah, so fast, and there's Cloud Rift as well. It's the team that's winning.
It's just, okay, look.
You don't need to clutch at straws if it's just only straws. And DRX are all standing on each other.
Yes.
They will likely die.
That's the pitch. That's the pitch.
Do it now. No. Okay, let's see whether they can get it done as Rich just bounces over. Hostile takeover was... I can't do the Draco's quote, I don't think.
It hit no one.
It's damn well missing. As the Brambleback is also looking hostile.
Wait, that'll bait them on a Baron. Okay.
Oh.
Now, okay, Lehends is low level, so he'll respawn quicker.
I mean, killing Lehends has actually been the downfall of teams in the past.
Okay, now they just need to somehow approach the Baron.
Why did Kingen take half of his health bar from Ucal? I feel like Ucal's not that fed. But I guess he is.
Everyone's fed.
Yeah, I think they are. As now Kingen gets on top of him. Ucal's in trouble. He does die. As Rich now gets over Taeyoon. Another flanking Jiwoo angle. How does he keep getting away with this as Andil's flashing after Sponge? He is now alone on the other side. It was not great here for DRX.
Like, who's following you?
No one.
Okay.
All right, Willa is going to have to press his ultimate button. Now just goes in, looking for a bit of a re-engage. Jiwoo's going to show up as well. Teleport in as now Rich gets a flank angle, but Kingen's on top of him. Sponge could be in trouble, though. There's so much damage here out of DRX, and Jiwoo just cuts him down. Still, Rich gets himself out of there. The Nabar is in a decent position.
That's jungler down.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I hope not, too. All right, Ucal on a flank angle is spotted here by Nongshim. They're looking to try and stop this. Of course, they have no smite to do so. They need to try and bait a turn or something like that. But DRX are just doing it. They will just take it. And unfortunately, this is on-hit Varus, and smite's better now.
Smite him, he has cash back, so he gets money back from it, which is something Taeyoon doesn't have. Oh.
Well, Kingen gonna get a flash out of Ucal here, and he flashes onto the dead turret, actually. Between worlds goes Ucal now as hostile takeover once again is just kind of decorating the rift and not doing too much more. Finally, Chains of Corruption hits. But it's going to be more about disengage than getting anything done. DRX could just do no wrong today.
This is starting to feel a little scrappy, though. With how far ahead...
Jiwoo, what are we doing? There's a bailout. He got the kill too late, though, and Taeyoon is still going to die. Kingen dead as well. Engage Sivir. Ladies and gentlemen, you had the flanking version. I give you the engage version. And it would never have worked if they weren't absurdly far ahead. However, they are, so it did. And Nexus inhibitor turret is going to go down. Is this end of the game off the back of engage Sivir, Orcs?
I think it might be. I've never seen such a literal slap with a wallet, but it was right there.
Oh my goodness. Scout gonna flash out of the way as Lehends just trying to be frustrating. Bailout buys him a little bit of time, but Rich is able to limp away with his life intact. Scout alive.
Yeah,
they're not gonna be able to end because their AD carry sacrificed themselves to win a team fight.
What is going on?
That's a lot of gold. Give it to him.
No. They've played very well, but they just need to just a little bit of goofiness right at the end. A little bit of goofiness. I don't want to criticize them. Just a little bit of goofiness. They got the Cloud Soul. Still nearly done.
Also, like a gigantic shutdown.
Yeah. I'm a little bit concerned. Okay, the 1,000 gold shutdown. A little bit concerned. Just DRX. It's in your hands. We don't want to see a KT situation. That's all I'm worried about. Okay. That's all I'm worried about.
Oh God, okay. That's how they begin the reverse sweep.
No.
Oh, manifest that for me. It really is.
Yes,
slow motion. All right, well, Will is going in once again, and he finds the 3 talent strike. Hostile takeover is a little bit better, but Ucal, oh my god,
where'd he go?
just blows him up. And Scout gonna suffer the same fate. No bailout for him. As now Sponge desperately trying to escape. Kingen kind of massive and does get some stride breaker value, but Jiwoo just swoops in, going 1 billion miles per hour. And DRX will continue that momentum straight into the Nexus turrets and end this series before you could blink. A 3-0, the most unprecedented of upsets. And look, honestly.